fallen to the Warriors before, but they have experience against them. You know, you look at Serge when he played with OKC. You look at Gasol in Memphis. They've had some success against Golden State. And then you look at Kawhi and Danny Green. So you got 3 teams combined with one now who have that experience of playing against a team like Golden State on how to beat them. And they've actually done a really good job. And I think the newer version of Draymond Green and Siakam has had an amazing year. And everything that team has done, you know, this season, I think they deserve, you know, a championship for all their hard work.
Toronto's led by one player, that's Kawhi Leonard. Describe to us, as basketball fans, what we're seeing on the biggest stage, what we've seen in the finals from him.
Man, he's doing some amazing things. I never really had a chance to play against Kawhi away from Tim Duncan, Manu, and all those guys, so it was pretty hard to judge him playing against him at that point. But now he's doing everything. He's all over the place, and he's efficient. And I really like how he plays. He's hardworking, and it's like he doesn't have a smile or frown, and he's just the same way the whole game. So I think Tim Duncan is rubbed off on him. So is Pops, and he's doing an amazing job, and I'm really happy for him.
You mentioned that when you were in high school, or when KD was in high school, you had just gotten to the league. Kevin Durant, by high school, people were saying this guy could be an all-time great. Oh, yeah. You, straight out of high school, #1 pick of the draft. We talk about LeBron, the other great players in this league. Then there's Kawhi, who was the 15th pick from a smaller school. And even when you played against him in that era, he was a great defensive player. No one saw this coming.
Correct.
What do you make of his progression as a player? And in your experience around the league, how rare is it for a guy who was never projected to be league MVP in the discussion for best player in the world to work his way into that category?
Well, I think the league is all about opportunity and system. And the first couple of years he had in San Antonio playing behind, you know, Tim Duncan and Manu and Tony Parker and those guys, he didn't have a chance to really be that guy, you know, so he's learning from all these guys. I think he took parts of each and every one of those guys' games to become the player that he is today. So now that he has an opportunity to be on the biggest level, and he is in the right system, he has the right pieces behind him, and he's just showing the world his hard work. You know, if you ask anybody around the league, Kawhi's one of those guys that really works hard in the gym. He's a machine. And those days in the gym that nobody sees, they pay off. And even, you know, coming in after practice, getting shots up, all the little things that you have to do to take care of your body, you can see he's doing it, and that's why he's so successful.
So where do you think he's going to be successful next year?
To me, I think he should stay in Toronto.
Why?
Because he took the team to the finals, you know, so if he win, why would he go anywhere else? I think he'll be able to live in Toronto forever and not have to ever spend a dime. I think he can move his whole family to Toronto and live there for the rest of his life.
Get the keys to the city.
I respect that. And a guy that's moved around, when you look back on history, what should KD do? And does that decision change because of the injury last night?
I think it does change because of the injury. And I heard what you said earlier, but Achilles injury is very big, you know. And
is that the word when you're training or when you're talking to NBA players? Is that the fear? NFL players, especially a wide receiver, man, you go across that middle, man, my ACL can be, man, my hamstring, all that, man, don't mess with my neck. Because I don't want to play football with the fear of my neck. Is it the Achilles in basketball?
Achilles in the back. Those are the 2 hardest injuries that, well, I mean, you can't really say every injury is bad. Right. But, you know, if you have an Achilles
if you have an 18, you get some injuries on your feet.
Yeah. It's really bad, you know. So for him, man, he just has to get healthy right now. I think that's the only thing that he should be concerned with, is making sure he gets healthy. And I know free agency is coming up, but you don't want to stress yourself out right now. You really have to focus on how can I get healthy and not rush it, because it could be tough.
Okay, you were real quick to tell us where Kawhi should play next year. Let me throw a name out there. I'll throw 3 names out there real quick, top of your head. Where does Kyrie play next year?
Oh, He might go back with LeBron.
Ooh-wee's not a spot.
I was like, and it wasn't too quick either.
I was gonna say the Lakers or New York.
Okay.
Lakers in New York.
Okay. And you have Kawhi staying in Toronto. KD is where?
KD. Oh man, why are you doing this to me today?
Because we sit here every day and talk
alluding to
about
this.
it.
We ended up talking about the Achilles and the importance of this, but you were halfway through an answer on. You said that the injury could affect his free agency decision. Can you expand on, like, KD you thought was directed where, and now with the injury might be directed where?
Well, only because, you know, when you have the injury, it takes a season almost to heal, you know, so you don't want to, like, I don't think a team would want to wait for KD to get healthy for the playoffs because you don't know what's going to happen while he's in the playoffs. So that's going to be a risk for any team. As great as a player as KD is, you want a healthy KD. And I just want nothing but the best for him. And any team he go to, I'll be root for him.
What do you think Anthony Davis went through this? He didn't have the decision. It's not about where he's going to go.
He was gonna end.
But what do you think Anthony Davis went through this season? As a guy that once upon a time, after being drafted by a team, said, you know what? And you had more success in Orlando, a hell of a lot more than Anthony Davis had in New Orleans. And you still said, you know what, this isn't it for me anymore. And you got criticized for that. Anthony Davis, who had never been criticized seemingly for anything, essentially demands a trade, and all of a sudden people are coming for him. What do you think that was like this year, and how do you think that ends up?
I think it was hard for him as a player because it has nothing to do with the team or the city. Like, the players are
But they take it that way.
They take it that way. Like,
Yes.
why he want to leave us? You know, I think it's a business decision that he wants to do for himself and his family. And I think that's the only thing that should really matter. And it's not saying, hey, we don't like our fans or anything like that. But we have to make the best decision for our basketball life and career. And he has some amazing years in New Orleans. And I don't think anybody should say, oh, why is he doing us like this when he's giving New Orleans hope? He's taking them places that, you know, they haven't been since Chris Paul. And I think he deserved credit for that and not being punished for saying he wants to leave. You know, everybody has their reason for leaving. And it's just like if somebody decides to go from Walmart to Target, you know, who has a regular job, you know, you can do what you want to do with your life. But he's going to do what's best for him. And the team is going to do what's best for them. So,
well, that's a good segue because now I want to talk about the Lakers, and they've been playing like Walmart. But do you think
not true.
Do you think the draw? And I've been a Lakers fan since I was a kid. My brother got drafted there when I was in the 9th grade, so I know the lure of the
Great.
Yeah,
No, when he was in the 9th grade,
I was like in the 70s.
It's
1980.
Yeah, I'm willing to put my family's track record up against anyone else, but that's not the subject here. Is the Lakers still the draw on players the way it has always been? All right, and you're a player in the league, and you're a player that played for the Lakers.
Correct. I don't know if they're the draw anymore. I think now guys understand that it doesn't really matter where you play. The era that we live in, the social media age, you can play anywhere and get attention. And I think a lot of guys want to win championships for their prospective cities, you know, so they can say, I was the first to do it here instead of going along with doing it where everybody's already done it. So I don't think they have that same, you know, like,
I have two quick ones for you. One is, do you think LeBron is a draw for people to go play with LeBron? You competed against him in the East throughout the beginning of your careers.
I think guys do want to play with him only because he's going to really elevate, you know, it depends on who the player is and the style they play. He can really elevate them to the next level.
And last one, I'm going to do a right turn here. I wasn't going to talk about how historically underrated you are, but everyone that has a brain knows it. Top 50 all-time player, first ballot Hall of Famer. Instead, I want to talk about your idea that I can't believe you didn't want to ask him about. Our guy Chris Carter has been promoting this idea. You're a slam dunk champion, one of the greatest slam dunk competitions. Slam dunk competitions kind of lost some luster as of late. What do you think of this? You have on one side of the court the best dunkers in the NBA. The other side of the court, the best dunkers who ain't in the NBA. We don't know where they are. Street ballers, YouTube legends. Maybe
if we have to post bail to get a couple of them
exactly
out,
right.
We willing to do it. Sam Quinton,
I think those guys might win.
Right. Well, so you have a bracket. So you have a bracket.
Only because they're just, well, I don't want to say they're just dunkers, but that's what they do for a living. So for us, you know, we have season and all that stuff, and by the time we get to the dunk contest, we don't have no legs. Those guys are fresh because this is.
So if you did that,
it seems like you're already making up an excuse.
No, I'm not
making some dude coming off the street taking your cash.
But
that's what it seemed like, bro.
I don't want to say they can win.
Right? Yeah,
I'm agreeing with you.
So let's call it $1 million cash at center court.
Dang.
Winner,
You're in. You back in the slam dunk? Yeah, you back in it?
Let the man think it through.
You know what? I actually thought about it last year, getting back in the dunk contest. I still had some dunks that I wanted to do for the dunk contest. So,
okay, I like it.
I done slimmed down.
Slim down.
Get my legs right. I might make a return for the dunk contest.
God knows you don't need an extra $1 million to put with the rest of that money. Good Lord.
Thank you so much
God
for hanging out with us today. A lot
Get it
of fun.
cash.
Take a break. Much more right after this.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
No, seriously, Jesus just asked, can I get a loan?